Good morning. Thank you for joining me in another Trader Bite. It is Monday, the 5th of June, 2017. It's 8:01 a.m. Chicago time, 9:01 Eastern. Derivatives trading involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. Scanning the overnight news, some news out of China. Um, the services sector is growing at its fastest pace since January. Um, there was an attack in London on I believe Friday, but the British pound has not slipped. And what else? There isn't all that much to talk about. Of course, you have your own news feed and news coverage that you should probably refer to. I'm not seeing. I'm seeing some more some elevated action there in the Gulf course in the Gulf area. My head's not in the game today. In the Gulf region, Saudi Arabia, the UAE, Bahrain, and Egypt have decided to cut diplomatic ties with Qatar. That may have an impact on crude if this further escalates. This could be a very problematic issue for crude supply, so this is bullish for crude. Um, and then as far as what we're expecting for the week, since it's Monday, looking ahead, let's look at what we're expecting today. As far as what we're looking for today, let's see. We've got services PMI final, it says, but for some reason I don't think this calendar is correct. It's interesting. The calendar I pay for is one that is not as reliable as I'd like it to be. Let's go to the Wall Street. So productivity and costs has already come out. We're looking for PMI services index at 945. We're looking for factory orders at 10. ISM non-manufacturing index at 10. Labor market conditions index also at 10. That's for today. Looking at tomorrow, and what speakers are there? I don't see any speakers today. Looking for tomorrow, we're getting German Eurozone services PMI, Eurozone retail sales, so very, um, very light tomorrow. And on Wednesday, we're looking for German factory orders, construction PMI, UK Halifax housing index, and the Eurozone GDP government, Eurozone GDP, and U.S. consumer credit. Also a light day Wednesday. Thursday is a big day. Looking for the UK general election. This could have a pretty tremendous impact on the session overnight, as the polls show that it's very tight. This may be a course reversal for the UK. I don't want to overstate it, but this is something I'm going to watch closely. Again, that's Thursday, June 8th. We also get the ECB's deposit rates and the conference with Draghi on Thursday morning, and then German industrial production. On Friday, we get the German current account, trade balance, labor cost, UK industrial production, manufacturing, trade balance, construction output, and BOE decision, as well as GFK inflation. So very light in the U.S. session on Friday, Wednesday, and Tuesday of this week. A very fairly sparse week here for the U.S. Quite a few releases in Europe, especially the big one is the UK general election. Let's move on. I did not do a trader bite on Friday, but I did one on Thursday, and I'm going to spend a couple minutes going over what was expected on Thursday. Thursday's plan was for the market to be responsive, to open in an open auction, be responsive, and then to continue higher up towards 24.25. This is what happened on Thursday. Right here, this is your Thursday trade. So we got an open auction responsive, pushed down into the prior day's close, and then off to the races it goes. So Hyper 1 from Thursday was spot on. Friday, we got a week non-farm payrolls release. Here's the non-farm payrolls on Friday. This is the bar that was on the release. The market sold off. It was actually opening in a gap. It was trading in the 24.34 28.75 area before the market dropped on that number. So the yeah 24.3450, the market dropped and started to push into the prior day's range, into Thursday's range, and then just held sideways. We had about what was that bar range? About 4 points, 4 points for the non-farm payroll release, and then we extended that by another 2 points or so. Very lackluster action in the indices lately, and so we've pushed back into the prior day's range, and then we open up. We open up on Friday with an open auction. Here we go. With an open auction that trades both ways. So we have an OS low and OS high between 33 and a quarter and 28.75. The market holds on to the upper balance for quite some time. It holds this LVN right here. Is unable to get into the point of control and then starts to become bullish and move out of the prior day's range. The trade was frankly, again, it was tough to find good spots on Friday. Look at these profiles, just incredibly disjointed. You could see these profiles right here, just showing no consensus, not an orderly auction. Okay, so we're not really doing a good job with finding balance. We're doing a good job on price discovery. In other words, we keep moving directionally, but we're not doing a very good job on finding balance. We are not able to find balance yet. We're continuing higher and higher. As you could see on Friday, again, we get these multiple distributions. This is your key LVN from Friday, right here at 34.50. Again, this is where the NFP release was. And then you have this bulky point of control at the top, and the market closes near highs above the IB, still looking bullish into the 24.40 area, got to 24.39.75. Again, the market is unable to find balance here at all. Another interesting thing on Friday, just a ton of selling on the close. If we look at these last couple of bars, this last cash bar, this bar right here, it did not have very much range. Oh, I'm having a hard time circling it. Did not have very much range, but the volume on it was about twice as much as the 15-minute bar volume for that particular bar on a 20-day average, moving average basis on that particular bar. There was a ton of selling going on. You could see it in the delta here. The sellers were very aggressive. Not surprising coming into a week that was bullish. That some covering, some profit taking going into the close. And then the last bar, of course, the last 15-minute bar is the pit close, and that's why it still shows up there. But a lot of action happened there on the close. Since then, coming into today, not much really. We definitely had balance overnight. We have a very Gaussian profile with high kurtosis. We have a concentration of value. We have very low volume. 86, 84 is about 40% lower than the what we would expect coming into this period of the day. We expect about 145,000. It's at 86,000 contracts for the overnight session. There are no holidays today that I'm aware of. There was a holiday on Friday, I believe, in Italy, but there's just a very tight overnight session. It tested down to 24.33. Again, remember that 34.5 is the non-farm payrolls SOC. Tested down to 33 and it tested up 37.50 and it's sitting sideways. It's trading on top of the point of control on the overnight session. It's trading on top of the mid of the overnight session. It's trading on top of the VWAP of the overnight session. The market has nothing to offer today. Is Germany closed today? Let's see. Let me look at my holiday calendar here. That's interesting. It doesn't show up. Oh, it's Whit Monday, of course. Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, it is a holiday. Huh. Okay, appreciate that. It is Whit Monday, so there is a holiday in Europe. So this explains the very light trading overnight. So that's good to know. Sorry, I did not catch that in all of my prep. I didn't see that small line. Um, so anyway, so that's where we are. That's where we are coming into today. We are in the middle of the bulky part of the profile from Friday. Okay. And we are just below the point of control. The expectation is for an open auction. We are likely to test down into the prior days LVN, key LVN, and through. I'm expecting this to find a rotation eventually and to start tackling this high back up to 2440. I'm expecting it to push through, but it is Monday. I'm not expecting very much range. So about 7 points is my estimate for range from bottom to top. And that's the primary hypothesis. I'm not looking for too much in terms of a push, so I'm looking for about 24.33 to 24.40 or 24.34 to 24.41 and back into the range on the primary hypothesis. The secondary hypothesis, unlikely. If we find buyers right away and we start to push up, I'm looking for the potential for failure back into the prior day's range, and then a test to the other side, and then for the market to finish also sideways. That is hypo 2. I'm not expecting to see um, a gun and run kind of open and run it up type of trade today. I'm not seeing that in the cards, although that is a possibility. That is the third hypothesis. The third hypo is a push down open test drive, and then we continue through 2440 and push through to 2445. That's hypo 3. Very unlikely on this day, especially now that I know it's a holiday. It's very unlikely. It's also a Monday. So what are we doing once the market opens? We're inspecting, we're checking for a test down. If we get a test down first, then I'm looking for areas where the market is attempting to push lower but is unsuccessful. In other words, it's hitting the bid, but it's unable to successfully print lower and lower and lower. So I'm looking at Bookmap and seeing if there's any support beneath. If there is support beneath, and I see uh, uh, big dots, in other words, hitting the bid, and the market's unable to chisel through and break through that, then I'm looking for the rotation up and I'm buying the pullback. And that would be, remember, hyper one, buying the pullback to push towards 2440, and I'm hoping to see that it holds 2434 or 2433 before it rotates, and that gives me about 4 points. Unfortunately, not much range at all. That might give me a 4 points into some profit today, and that's the best I can hope for. You know, all of you know who are trading indices that it has just not been moving. It's basically a grind. Unless you're in the Nasdaq, it's basically a grind right now. A quick look at oh, wrong chart. A quick look at what we accomplished last week. There we go. This is what we accomplished last week. We had an imbalance last week. We've had imbalance for 3 weeks in a row, so we keep pushing. This is a swing trader's paradise here. The market is fairly directional. In this week, we opened higher and tested lower and finished in the middle. The following week, we opened lower and we are one time framing up all week until Friday. That was 2 weeks ago. Last week was a shortened week, it was 4 days, and we ended up uh, opening within the prior week's balance, testing down, and then getting an extension up and getting a further extension up. We are again one-time framing up as the market pushes through on new all-time highs. This is As I've told you, many of you have been following for a while, this is my kryptonite. This is not my market. I don't like the market that is pushing new highs into new territory because I'm trading the auction and there are no reference points when you're pushing new all-time highs. And it's a market that is not my cycle, and I recognize this. And for this reason, I don't trade as much. We don't have to trade just because we're sitting here. But I'm waiting for the opportunity for the market to go back through bounds and to test the other side. It hasn't done so in a little bit of time. But the period like on the Trump news here, the Trump FBI news here, those periods provide a ton of opportunity for me. But once it catches its grind up and starts to shift upwards, it's not my show. So it's important to recognize this in your own trading that it's not always going to be your show, and to press the gas when it is your market cycle, and to just back off and pick your spots when it's not. This is not my market cycle. I'll leave you with that thought. Hopefully, you have your goals for the week. It's a full week. Hopefully, you have your goals for the week and are tracking your progress and your performance, so you can see how you're performing against your goal. And also, it filters out the bad traits. Two things I want to announce tomorrow. There's a convergence event taking place. You have the invitation is right in the description of this video. Be sure to sign up even if you cannot attend. That way you can be sent the recording. We're going to cover the latest and greatest on Investor RT. For those of you who use Investor RT, you'll want to attend this. For those of you who have considered it and haven't used it, it's cool. You might want to just look at what the capabilities are. But overall, you should sign up for this. On Wednesday, we have a public AMA with Futures IO. The invitation for that is also in the description. To get the recording, you'll also want to sign up for that, even if you cannot attend. Good luck, and I'll catch you tomorrow. Take care.